Okay, let's talk about speed versus accuracy in shooting. And what I've done for you is I've made this display to explain something that a lot of people don't understand, even people that are professional shooters, competition shooters, bullseye shooters, military. A lot of people take something that's so simple and they make it complicated. So I'm going to straighten everything out right now, okay? So when you first start shooting, you'll notice that this circle here, this is about the size of a human heart. And of course, you have arteries and stuff like that. When you first start shooting, what you're going to be doing is kind of like bullseye shooting. You're going to shoot slow just to make sure you're accurate, okay? And what I put here is blood pressure will drop. That means that if you hit in the heart area here, the blood pressure is going to drop. And the heart area right here, we're giving it 4.5 by 4.5 in this area. Now, bullseye shooting is fine, but we need to speed it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a little bit faster, these 3 shots, okay? But we're going to stay within the heart, within that kill zone. That's what they call the kill zone. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot 3 shots faster. Notice that we're still within the kill zone, so it's still acceptable, and it will still drop the blood pressure. Okay, this is what we call combat accuracy. Combat accuracy is the degree of accuracy that's good enough to stop a threat, but not be so precision like this that you're taking too much time, because obviously when you're in a gunfight, you have to be fast. You have to make sure you incapacitate. So on this one here, what you've done is you've gone a little bit faster and you're still within the kill zone, okay? This is called combat shooting. This is called bullseye shooting. The bullseye shooter can't just shoot bullseye, although bullseye is good for them long shots, because if you have a long shot, you have to take a little bit more time to line up them sights. So you can't be fast sometimes when you got a target that's far away. So that's the benefit of bullseye. But if you just practice bullseye, that's not good either. You need to speed it up. So we're going to speed it up right here. Now, combat shooters. This is military, law enforcement, stuff like that. Hopefully it's law enforcement. I think they've gone away from good shooting themselves, making their kill zone a lot bigger. They should get it back to standard. So the benefit of combat shooting is it's quick, it's effective, even though it's not precision. And a combat shooter, what he needs to do is he needs to still practice his bullseye, okay? So you're going to practice bullseye, and you're going to practice them 3 quick shots to the heart as fast as you can. Now, here's the thing that people don't understand. If you come out of this zone, it doesn't count. And this is something I'm showing based on 10 yards. This is 10 yards, which is the average distance that most gunfights happen in when it comes to the private citizen, okay? We're not talking about law enforcement. We're not talking about military. We're talking about self-defense that a private citizen will see most often as far as distance, and that's always 7 to 10 yards. So you need to put this target at least 7 yards. Okay, so over here, now here's the problem. This is the fastest, and a lot of times competition shooters do this. And a lot of competition shooters, they'll have something like 6x8 or even bigger for a kill zone. That's way too big for a kill zone, because what you're doing is you're missing the heart and the vital arteries and stuff like that. A good competition shooter, what he'll do is he'll slow down so he can make a perfect score. So he doesn't care about the timer, okay? A good competition shooter might not win the competition because he's not fast running through the course. But if he's wanting a perfect score, okay, even though he didn't win, he's the better person. Why? Because he put all of his shots within the heart. So a competition shooter, if he has shots like this, no blood pressure drop, that means that you have not incapacitated that person. So it doesn't make sense if you shoot 3 times like this or 2 times and then you go to the next target. You can only incapacitate one person at one time, okay? It's not like you see on the range. It's not like you see in the movies where you just shoot 2 shots and the guy falls down. Life doesn't work that way. Real life doesn't work that way. They don't get incapacitated. So what you're going to do as a competition shooter is, yes, you can run fast. Yes, you can shoot fast. What you're going to do is you're going to keep it within the kill zone and have a perfect score and not win the trophy, okay? You're not going to win any money. You're not going to win the trophy, but at least you know that you shot a perfect score. And that's the problem with competition shooting. The temptation is to rush your shots and not get vital hits so that you're running alone from stage to stage to stage is going to win you money or a trophy. But is that the kind of shooting we want to teach people? No, absolutely not. That is not defense shooting. That is not combat shooting. That is games. That's fun and games. We're not talking about fun and games. We're talking about self-defense. So a lot of these guys, they confuse new shooters like older people, women and stuff like that. These competition shooters confuse everybody. And they've never sat down and talked to people like I'm doing right now to show you the reality of the situation is that you have vitals that need to be hit, okay? If you don't hit the vitals, you're not going to drop that blood pressure. What does that mean? The person still has oxygen. They can still run and move, okay? So that's one of the downsides of a competition shooter. Now, a competition shooter that's a good competition shooter, he's going to focus on that 4-inch ring, getting 3 shots or 2 shots, and then going to the next stage, but making sure that it's within the ring. If he fires 3 shots and he misses, he should keep shooting until he gets at least 2 within this 4.5 ring, 4.5 by 4.5. Because if you, in real life, if this guy, his heart and his arteries, if you fire 2 shots and then you transition to this one and this one, well, this one could still be shooting back at you because it got blood pressure. So they don't fall down like you guys think in the movies, okay? There was a police officer in Ohio, I think his name is Tim Grammons or something like that. He fired over 24 rounds of 45 ACP at a suspect that wasn't doing drugs, had nothing in his body at the time when he finally got killed. But what happened is he was soaking up dozens of 45 ACP. Why? Because the police officer wasn't hitting any vital organs. So in the autopsy, they finally figured out what did it. The last 2 shots, he had one in the heart and he had one in the head, and that's what did it. So shot placement is king. It's not caliber, okay? Caliber has less to do with it than you guys think. It's how you handle the gun, your tactics. Can you shoot and hit a vital organ? Can you hit the T-zone in the head, the cranial vault? Can you hit that? Can you hit the heart? Okay, that's what's going to matter. That's what's going to matter in self-defense. So what we want the competition shooter to do is slow down. And yes, you're lightning fast, but you're going to slow down and you're going to get a perfect score. You're going to get them within here. And then you're going to transition to their next target and then their next target. And a lot of you that shoot 3 targets out in the field, sometimes you'll have these big, huge steel targets that are much, much bigger than these. And you'll shoot really fast and you'll impress people on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. Well, what are you doing? You're not hitting the heart, okay? You're over here, over here, over here at 10 yards. And what you're doing is you're looking really fast and fancy, but you won't walk up and show us the target, because if you walk up and show us the 4-inch target, we want to know if you took out these 3 targets, 2 shots each, we want to know, did you hit the heart, okay? If you got 2 in the heart, 2 in the heart, 2 in the heart, then we understand that you have a perfect score and that you're doing the right shooting. But in real life, we have to understand, just because we have a double tap, it doesn't mean that that person's incapacitated. So we want to use cover. We want to use cover for this one first, make sure he's incapacitated. We don't want to come out and open like this, where we expose ourselves to 3 targets when this one hasn't been incapacitated. So we got to incapacitate this one first, knowing that he's out of the game, using cover. So here's my cover right here in my hand. Okay, I'm staying behind cover. Now that he's down, I can go work on him and I can go work on him. So once again, when you first start shooting, shoot accurately and slow. Pick up the pace, try to get them 3 shots within 4.5, 4.5, okay? So it's getting wider, but that's okay. You're still hitting the heart, okay? Competition shooting. You're going to be a competition shooter. You're going to have to decide whether you want that trophy and that money, or if shot placement is important to you, because most competition shooters, shot placement isn't important.